Well, I may have a new favorite Southern Living plant, and I may have a new favorite medium to create topiary. This is the first time that I have used Cryptomeria. This is Dragon Prince Cryptomeria. It's a Southern Living plant, and I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Now, why do I love it? I love it for many, many reasons. It's got this kind of stiff, fine foliage. It almost has a texture about it, a feel that feels almost like it's a succulent. So I'm going to guess, because of that fleshy nature, that it might take root pretty easily. So everything that I cut off of this today, I'm going to save for starts to maybe make some more plants a little bit later. One thing I have started to be extremely mindful of on every plant is it's not only heat tolerance, but it's cold tolerance. So this one is cold tolerant to about -10 degrees. Now, let me point out, if you're using this in the landscape, and I plan to do that as well, it takes full sun to full sun to part shade? No, just full sun. So it can really handle full sun. It's got that low mounded, rounded quality that I like so much. But it's important to say that in the landscape, if you just want to leave it alone, it requires no pruning whatsoever. You can just let it grow in its natural form, which is that kind of gumdrop mounded form. But in this case, I am definitely going to prune it because I see potential in this one in particular for a double ball topiary. Stuart, can you see that potential too? Now, if you are going to your nursery or garden center and you want to make a topiary out of it, then obviously you're going to want to critically assess the form of the plant itself to see what potential it does have. It may not be a double ball form, it might be pyramidal form, it might be just a perfect globe. It just kind of depends on where you're heading with it. Now I've got this elevated so that I can kind of see what direction I want to take it. So here is how I'm going to start out. Now, I know you will ask, these are BRIDGETOWN clippers. They are my new favorite clippers for this kind of thing. They actually sent me these to try around Christmas time. You can see BRIDGETOWN right there. I really like them. They're very sharp and they're great for topiary work. I also like the fact that they're just kind of good looking. So I'm going to start here by determining where the demarcation is and really defining the two different levels. So I'm going to start out, and again, I'm going to save all these little cuttings. And by the way, it does take to pruning pretty well, so I don't need to worry about this too much. Now, I might do this a little bit later in the season if I was doing this in the landscape, but since I am doing this as a form of topiary, this is more like meditative pruning for me. And I think, Stuart, if you can kind of get to the interior, you can see how I am just cutting it off at that main trunk. Now the other quality that this one had, ooh, that's going to make a really great clipping. The other quality that this has is, this one in particular, is that it has a strong central stem or a strong central leader. Now here is going to be my determinative cut. I've been fairly conservative to this point, but this is what I call a determinative cut. So it's this one right here. So first of all, I'm going to see, okay, how much does that remove? And I can kind of take it away and you can see that that will reveal the second layer. Is that evident to you, Stuart? So I can take this off. And it will mean that this needs to fill in a little bit more below, but this is the first prune, topiary prune. And again, What a wonderful quality of cutting. I'm going to save some of those for my friend Monica. So this is looking pretty good. So now from here, I can see what my lower level is going to be. And I can start pruning. I can work on either level first. In this instance, I think I'm going to work on the lower level. And I apologize, you guys, the light today is a little bit harsh, but it's gorgeous. This time last week, it was in single digits, and today it is close to 70. Go figure. Okay, so we can kind of see now where that's going to be, where that second level is going to be. So then I'm going to come back in here, and I want this second level to have kind of a rounded form on the bottom. So I'm going to take my pruners, and that's just kind of the direction that I'm going to go. And when you look at it, I'm just kind of shearing this. I'm not really looking real carefully that I am getting, oh, let's say in between the different lateral branches, the lateral growth. I'm just shearing for form. Okay. And once I establish this one section, then I have kind of a profile that helps me determine where I should make the other cuts, not unlike at the hairdresser, when she'll cut a section and she uses that as a frame, or he uses that as a frame of reference for where to make the next cut. It's very similar. And with spring coming on, this is a really good time to do this, I think, because that new growth is going to come out very quickly. Now this is a moderate grower that needs moderate watering. Obviously, if you're planting it in the landscape, it will require more water to get it established. And it doesn't hurt my heart too much to prune these big pieces off, because I just know that they're going to be candidates for future topiary. So Stuart, be my student here. Can you see what I'm doing here? And how by getting this first section done, it's helping me determine where to make my next cuts? Okay. Now, initially, there is going to be some scarring. When I say scarring, I mean some blunt edges where it's been cut. But I think that's going to be okay. Because again, by virtue of how it grows, I think it's going to be just fine. I also like the way there's kind of a little bit of a recession in there. Kind of a bowl. And the thing about topiary is, like with myrtle topiary, it grows very fast. And that's a good thing, because it can grow fast and it can put on size fast and establish its form very quickly. But sometimes with a major specimen like this one, I don't necessarily want it to grow too fast, because I don't want to be a slave to keeping its strong form. So in this case, the fact that it's kind of a moderate grower, I think is going to be a good thing. And as I'm doing this, and as its shape is being revealed, of course I'm thinking about what kind of fabulous container I want to put this in. I'm also thinking, as I cut this and take off a large branch, the shape of the cutting itself. So this will make just a perfect little globe. And maybe that needs to be another video where I talk about rooting these cuttings. And constantly we step back to assess where we are. And where the next cut needs to be. I love these because they really remain sharp throughout the cutting process. Okay, now I'm going to stand back. I could almost do this with some larger shears if I wanted to make really quick work of it, but since I have not used this type of plant material before, I'm wanting to be a little bit more careful and fastidious, I think, about how I'm making the cut. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so that you guys don't have to hang around with me while I finish the bottom level, is I'm going to start working on the top level, and then I'll finish it up, and Stuart can show you what it looks like when it's complete. Now, one thing I am noticing is that these are getting a little bit gummed up and not cutting as well, and I should have brought a rag out here to just, that will easily wipe off, and maybe some alcohol, but that will make the cuttings stay clean and continue to be maybe a little bit more efficient. So the last thing I'm going to do is kind of clean up around the edges because I want it to have a clean edge. Now this looks like it's got a pretty good topiary form, I think, almost immediately. And I need to do a little bit more pruning on it, but I'm going to hold off, and I'll tell you why. Because to a certain extent, its shape and its form is also going to be informed by the pot that I put it in. And so if it's at a little bit different level, if some of it's root ball, which should maintain its integrity, but when I transplant it, if some of that falls apart or something, then that may inform how it sits in the pot. And I want symmetry to the extent possible. Now, Stuart made a wonderful observation, and I'm so glad he said this so I can share it with you. And that's that he said that this straight stem, he said ultimately you won't even know that it's not coming out through the center. And I said, yes, and I don't really care about that when I am selecting my candidate for topiary. But as it continues to grow, obviously what I will allow is for this side to grow longer until it equals the radius of this side. And then I'll have that symmetry that we all so crave in our topiaries. So I hope you enjoyed that. You can, by the way, you guys, this does take a little bit of time, so feel free to speed it up. You can speed up your YouTube videos if you don't want to watch the entire thing and its agonizing process. I personally find it to be very calming and very meditative process, and I hope you do too. So thanks for keeping me company while I pruned this Dragon Prince Cryptomeria into a topiary.